Okay, so we're gonna try this again. Can you hear me? Can you hear me? Okay, that sounds like it. We're gonna try this again because earlier I streamed the first level and my internet was really bad and I don't think it actually broadcasted anything. So I'm just gonna replay the first level, and just so I don't tax my internet as bad, I'm going to disable my video and my audio. Also, it's really hot and I have my air conditioner running, so I'm sure you can hear that in the background, which is probably annoying. So, oh, perfect. It didn't save anything. Okay, I'm just gonna replay this. It might have missed the intro to the game, but if it missed that at all, then it's on YouTube, I guess. But all right, so let's try this again. I'm gonna go mute, and I'm gonna turn off my camera, and I'll unmute. I'll unmute if there's important things that I want to say. But I'll probably be able to play. We have a show, so I'll probably be able to play for at the most like about 3 hours consecutively, and then we'll have to finish it either later tonight or most likely tomorrow morning. So anyway, here we go. I was reading the dialogue earlier, so I'll try to do it again from this point. I'm huge. Even scary here up close, huh? Maybe I'll have Peach bake me something for once. I sure could use a galaxy sized slice of cake right now. I'm way too huge for this puny planet. I deserve an empire that's more me size, and I'll put it the center of the universe. Have fun with your stupid mushrooms. My voice went anime in the last couple sentences. Sorry. Young Master Luma, did you get thrown overboard too? Good thing you're safe. I see. So you're going to stay in Mario's cup. that should be safe for now. But Mario, you have other things to worry about, like saving the princess. But how? I know. With young Master Luma's help, you can use the power of the stars, and we Lumas can help a little too. As thanks for saving our friends, we'll send you into space to get that monster. Now, let's go after them. All the options are the same so far. It's just like that's right or yes. I'm sure the energy that was spent turning the ship into a replica of Mario's face could have been used to like fuel the ship and move it forward. He just wanted an excuse to like slack on his job of running the ship. So like now you'll never have to find it in have trouble finding a parking lot. Hard hard. While he goes take a nap. Well, from what I remember, there's not much to explore. So we'll just get going. Right, here we go. Here's the moment we've been waiting for. Yoshi really makes this game so much more fun, and the game was already super fun, so that's like a huge compliment, I think. So, but that Luma just being extremely objectifying towards Yoshi is like, thought he could make himself useful, but he was scared and was running away. Maybe you could get use out of him. Like, I mean, he's a living, breathing, like, person, or not person, but whatever. Talking to him like that. Maybe you should help solve your own problems, Luma. Damn. What? About what? Huh? No. Is this a cloud level with the cloud power up? Because I think the cloud power up I remember being my favorite one of this game, and between that and the Yoshi with the chili pepper that makes him run fast, which we'll see later. What? That ability just let me bypass like half the level. Why is everything all dark? I don't remember which game, but that's like an old sound effect. I think from Mario 3, I think. Maybe from when you're jumping on in the boot. What? What the fuck, dude? That came out of nowhere. I'm still waiting to find out what these common medals do. That's weird how that only, like turning the rocks into bits, that's weird how that only works apparently if you don't have a power equipped. It's almost punishing you for having one. Bowser Jr. got upgraded and got his own statues now. Still gonna lose though. Hey dude, how are you? Yeah, we saw the movie at a midnight screening on Tuesday night. Did you guys get a chance to see it yet? Gobble gut. Okay, yeah. If you guys are planning on seeing it, I think it's worth it. Like I ended up liking it a lot. Not to mention there's some pretty like interesting story bits in it, which I don't know if it's really like canon of the games or not, but there were some pretty cool parts of it. Oh, the K-pop thing was cool. It was funny, and I felt a little bad because, obviously the movie has a big following with adults, but it's primarily made to be a kids movie. And so the event was listed as being like 18 and up only. So there was a couple families in them when we were in line that like showed up and then kind of saw the crowd and saw the type of venue it was at, which is basically a nightclub. And then they like left because they were like, "Oh, this isn't for kids." But then once we were inside, like they didn't have anything that wasn't like age appropriate. They didn't sell alcohol. It was like it had a real family friendly vibe anyway. And then when we were walking around, we saw a couple people who brought their kids anyway, and they didn't turn them away. So I was like, okay, well, it's kind of dumb that they advertise it as 18 plus only, but then they ended up letting kids in anyway, which I don't mind that they let kids in. I more mind that they advertise it a certain way, and we literally watched people leave because of that, and then it turned out that they didn't even really adhere to it. Um, it was from 7:30 through 11, so I mean, maybe late for like a young kid, but not super late either. Um, Yo, this guy's fast. He's gonna kill me. Ah, shit. How am I supposed to outrun that? Um, but yeah, it was cool though. They basically had four different giveaways that you could line up for in different places in the club. So it was like there was a place where you could line up and get a free Happy Meal. Oh, that was one thing. Like overall, I thought the event was really cool, but also McDonald's kind of cheaped out because it was like one of the it's meant to promote these K-pop meals that they have now, and so the gimmick of it was that they were having people vote between Huntrix and Saja Boys, and and they well, also I think the voting was also rigged because they did three different counts. In the first count, Huntrix was winning, like was barely winning. In the second count, Saja boys pulled ahead quite a bit, and then in the third count, Huntrix just won. So I have a feeling it was scripted anyway. Especially because when we were in line, they had a little button you could push to vote, and I mean we got in line early, and I guess it could have changed, but almost everybody was getting the Huntrix meal, and it got to the point where Megan got the Saja boys meal not because she wanted it, but because they ran out of Huntrix meals temporarily. So the only thing she could get was the Saja boys meal without waiting. But I say I'm getting ahead of myself. I say they cheaped out because the actual meal had more food in it than what they gave you at the event. So, like for example, I think the Huntrix meal has a 10-piece nuggets and a medium fry, and then at the event they gave you a 4-piece nugget and like a tiny, like not the kids fry, but like I think it's their medium, like whatever's between the kids and the regular. Or I think it's the adult small is what they gave it. Adult small fries and a 4-piece nugget. Um, yeah, the fry that was really good. The funny thing is, after after going to the event, I ended up going back to McDonald's the next day and buying one because well, for two reasons. One, they get one of the other, like aside from the meal, one of the other giveaways they did is they gave everyone like a swag bag with a bunch of like most of it was generic McDonald's merch, but they had a few K-pop Demon Hunters things in the bag. But I ran into a friend at the end of it, and he told me that the bags later in the night included one of the trading cards that come with the Happy Meal, but I guess in the beginning they weren't putting them in the bags or forgot to put them in the bags in the beginning, so we didn't actually get a card. And so, but yeah, I was really craving those ramyun fries, so I went back the next day and actually just bought one for myself with the bigger size. But then um, on top of that, I really wanted one of the cards since we kind of got cheated off of that. Yeah, yeah, it's like one card per $11 meal, and then it is kind of like a rip off because it's like, come on, man, you're not even giving me a chance to hit you. But yeah, it's one card per $10 meal, and I think if I remember correctly, there's like seven Huntrix card or six Huntrix cards and like seven Saja Boys cards. So dude, that'd be so much money, and like it's all random too on top of that. So it's like there's no guarantee you'll even get what you're trying to get. Okay, this is my chance, I think. Come on. What? Dude, they don't give you a chance to hit him. Like you got to hit the back. I think you got to hit the weak points towards his back in the beginning, and then hit the. No, I'm getting impatient. I just literally ran into a fireball because I'm trying to rush. Um, no, but I was saying I think the strategy is to destroy the weak points in the back first, and then when he speeds up and gets more aggressive in the second phase, then that's when you attack the ones in the front, so that you don't have to wait 15 minutes for the weak points in the back to be visible. Oh, really? That's interesting. I'll have to look up to see. I mean, not that it matters because you don't get the card until you've already paid for it, but that's interesting to know. So I guess if like you really wanted the cards that bad, people can probably sell them online and know what's in them without opening them. So that's cool. That's good to know. I mean, I'll probably get it a couple more times just for the fries, but I was satisfied with the two cards we got because Megan got a Saja Boys meal yesterday morning, and then I got a Huntrix meal in the evening, and we both got each card that has all of them on it with like the McDonald's logo on it because that was the thing too. I was kind of hoping to get one of the ones that were McDonald's specific because I noticed a lot of the cards were literally just screenshots from the movie pretty much. And I'm like, well, I don't really need a card with this. Well, I mean, I don't need a card, period, really. But I mean, if I were to get a card, I don't really need one with just artwork from the movie on it. Yeah, they were saying something like enter the code in the app. I mean, it sounds like you saw it, but um, it said something like enter your code in the app, and stay tuned for some kind of reveal for the winner at the end of the month or something like that. Oh, that was another thing that I forgot to check. Oh, one of the things that the gift bags had in them were gift cards, and they said that there were random dollar amounts on the gift cards, and they were highly encouraging you to use the gift card to order through the app so that you can vote through that, basically. That fight was much easier when I realized I should probably destroy the ones in the back first. Um, but yeah, it's like a cool gimmick. Like I've never bought any of the, like the celebrity meals they've done before, and I know this is like essentially the same thing. I mean, I always felt they were kind of a ripoff, and I mean, to be fair, I feel like this one's kind of a ripoff too. But um, where it's basically just the normal food, but packaged a certain way, and they charge more for it. And even though the card's cheap, at least you get a card for this, because I know the meals that I've seen in the past. I think I saw like a Saweetie meal a long time ago and like a BTS meal or something, and I remember looking it up, and I don't remember there being anything special in it. It was just like maybe a special sauce, and then they ended up charging essentially more for the bundle than it would have been if you just bought everything individually. Okay, yeah, that makes sense. But yeah, either way, they weren't enforcing it because there weren't a lot of kids, but we saw maybe two or three kids with their parents, and they didn't turn them away. I don't know if you follow Genshin Impact at all. Like I don't really play it, I just am aware of it, but like a year or two ago they did a Genshin Impact event with McDonald's, and they did a similar thing like this that they did to the K-pop thing, but instead of doing it in like a nightclub, they basically made it in like a short block of time. They basically did it all day, but you had to register for a specific block of time. And they had the event in like this warehouse in Glendale, but they had the warehouse all dressed up on the inside to look like one of the hub worlds for Genshin. And it was cool because they had like unlimited food. There were just people walking around. It was almost like a cocktail party, but they had people walking around constantly with trays of like nuggets and fries and sodas that you could just grab as many of as you wanted every time people walked by. Um, but yeah, so I kind of wish that they would have done this one like that. That way, it would have given more people more time to come in. There would have been more food available. Um, they would have had more give. The Genshin one had a lot of giveaways. Um, and then like kids could have went too because it would have been an all day thing. But one thing they did that was cool. They had like a live DJ at the K-pop Demon Hunters one, and then they had like a costume contest. They had a singing contest. They had a trivia contest, and they had the voice actor for Mystery Saja, and he showed up at the end and like greeted the crowd. And then they kept throwing like stuffed Derpy Cat plushies into the crowd and giving them away as prizes for things too. So yeah. Oh yeah, Honkai Star Rail I do play, but not like super in depth. I like log in, I do all the dailies, and I've played like half of the base story from when it launched, but I don't know. I never really feel. I think at one time when I was actually trying to play the story, I got walled hard behind like a boss that I couldn't beat without special items or more, or pulling for better characters, and I just got kind of irritated and stopped playing for like a year and a half. But then last summer, I tried to advance in it, and I got past where I was stuck because I had since unlocked a bunch of items that could temporarily raise the attack power of my party. So I was able to get through a little bit more of that. Yeah, once I because I'm playing two of the Hoyoverse games off and on. I've been playing Honkai Star Rail, and then I've been playing Zenless Zone Zero. Um, but Zenless I'm playing even more casually than I was playing Honkai. But my attitude right now is I want to like one day just really sit down and like finish. the main stories for both of those games up until the whatever the most recent story update is at the time that I do it, and then from there kind of phase those out and then switch to Genshin. But yeah, if they do another, I mean, I'm sure they'll do it again one day. But if the next time McDonald's has a big event like this for one of their collabs, I'm hoping they do it more like the Genshin one, where it's more widely available. Yeah, because well, I think Genshin was the second one, but the first one wasn't nearly as popular. It was Honkai Third Impact, I think. Unless there was a different game before Honkai Third Impact that I'm unaware of, but the very first game I know of that they made was Honkai Third Impact. I used to get ads for it on my phone games all the time. But then when Genshin came out, that just kind of took over. I remember I tried playing it when it first came out, and I was kind of like, but I didn't really download it with the intent to keep playing it. I downloaded it just to check it out and thought it was cool, and then moved on. But I remember I kept forgetting to create a PlayStation account to download Aloy when they came out with her. Wait, the company's trying to kill off Genshin? Really? That's crazy. I mean, they have so many games out. Like, they don't even really need it anymore if they don't want it. The thing about those games on mobile, though, I had to delete them off my. I started all of them. Wait, actually, no, that's not true. I started Genshin on PlayStation 4, I think, and then when Honkai Star Rail came out, I downloaded it on my phone initially. But those games end up having so many huge updates that they just drain all of your phone's memory so fast. So I migrated everything to my PlayStation because I had like the 4 terabyte drive in it. 70 coins? Where do you want me to get 70 coins from, dude? I was like, because there's not a ton of coins in this game, so I'm like, how many coins could he possibly need? Like 20? Oh, there might be a lot in this bonus room. Yeah, there you go. Hmm. That's crazy. I was jokingly kicking around the idea to get another phone just because there's a phone case that I wanted, but it only fits newer phones. So I was jokingly saying that I was going to buy a new phone just for the case, but I wouldn't really do that. But that's funny that there's people who just have like dedicated phones just for the game. Only way I could see myself doing something like that is if my phone was like super degraded or something and I was going to upgrade anyway and then just keep the old phone to use it. Oh, really? I've never heard of anything like that. Huh, that's crazy. Dude, how am I'm like short like 3 coins. Come on. Whatever. This is obviously like a secret star anyway, so I'll just get the star that's the official star for this level, and then I'll just come back and make sure to try to get as many coins as I can. Oh, hell yeah, that's pretty cool. No. Well, whatever it takes to get the comet coin. I'd rather get it now than have to replay the whole stage or whatever. Oh wait, it didn't even give it to me. What? Stupid saw. What? Get out of here. Mm. Hmm. Mm-hmm. Yeah, like mobile is such a huge market now. Like mobile and PC both are kind of just like phasing out consoles. Even though, well, I mean, I don't even want to go. I wouldn't go that far actually because PS5 and Switch are still selling pretty well, but you know, everything's trending in that direction, and now Microsoft's largely out of the market. Yeah, like I've never been a PC person, but I think it helps that how, and I know Sony just recently was talking about how they're going to cut back on releasing their games on PC, but it's probably helped that a lot of console exclusive games are were coming to PC for a while. So it's like, Xbox has been putting all their games on PC for the last decade, and then Sony started doing it over the last couple of years. So it's like there's really nothing you're missing out on PC. And then it's all the different digital storefronts. Come on, Mario, you could have jumped over that. But all the digital storefronts. What? Come on. These saws are vicious. Um, like all the sales, digital storefronts, modding capabilities, um, and even how much easier it is to pirate. Yeah, I mean, a lot of the. I know Microsoft kind of has like a loose partnership with Nintendo where some of their stuff will come out on Nintendo platforms, but it's mostly like they're more massive games and like not and like more kid friendly stuff like Minecraft, um but yeah, nothing none of their like huge like heavy hitting console exclusives like Halo or anything like that. Oh, this is crazy. This stage is when all those saws popped up just now, I was like, okay, this is more intense than I was expecting. Especially because that's a relatively early game in the early stage in the game. Oh wow, that was the quickest I got the Comet medal though. Um, but yeah, Clair Obscur. That's actually the next game I'm gonna play after I finish Mario. Coincidentally, I had started it last year on Xbox, but I've since got a physical limited edition for PlayStation, so I'm gonna play it on that. Also, I've been neurotic with my trophies, so I've been stalling getting another platinum trophy on PlayStation because I wanted Expedition 33 to be my 133rd platinum trophy, and I'm at 132 right now, so I can't advance until I platinum Clair Obscur. Mario, why did you jump that direction? Oh my god. It's funny, I haven't played this game in like 12, 13 years, but I was reading people say that this game was much harder than Galaxy 1. I don't know about that yet, but this is the first stage where I'm kind of like dying a lot. The only time I died on purpose when I missed the Comet medal the first time, but ever since then, yeah, these saws just keep catching me off guard. This most recent time, though, I had it, and then I don't know, my momentum wasn't what I thought it was, and I jumped the wrong direction. But it was like I that was just me choking. I pretty much was where I needed to be, and then messed up a relatively easy jump. Also, it doesn't help. Then that guy fucking and that bug. They know what they're doing though because they put an extra life right before all that stuff. It's like they knew they're like, yeah, you're gonna die a lot here, so here's an extra life so you don't get a game over trying to do this over and over again. I'm still sitting good on 24 lives. But even though I was talking about this earlier when I was playing Mario Galaxy 1, but I don't know why there's this weird thing with Mario, with 3D Mario games where if you, oh, come on. I thought it was gonna kill me. Um, if you like turn off the game or you don't even have to turn it off completely. If you just go back to the title screen, all of your uh, all of your lives will disappear and they'll just start you off at whatever the default is. Oh man, they still want you to come jump back over here after hitting the switch. Lame. Finally, God. No, I don't want to buy your stuff. Dun, 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 dun. So, like, the crazy thing about this game is that so far it's holding up to my memory of it, but for the longest time, I would always call this game my favorite game ever. And largely because I was amazed. Like, when this game got announced, I was like super cynical about it because Nintendo doesn't usually do, like, Nintendo had never done a direct sequel to a Mario game, like a 3D Mario game before. They were always something drastically different. So when they announced that they were doing a Mario Galaxy 2, I was like, oh, lame, they're getting lazy. It's just going to be more of the same. And then I played this and I was like, I think I got up to like 70 stars or something before I recognized like a gimmick or a mechanic that was repeated from not just the original game, but from just this game. Like it doesn't really reuse any ideas. They just had so many new ideas that they didn't tap into in the first game, and it like really kind of like blew me away and impressed me, and kind of made me, I guess you could say, kind of left egg on my face a little bit because I was so confident that it was going to be kind of like a lazy cash grab, and it was like, no, this game ended up being a really, really worthwhile sequel, and it's holding up to my memory of it so far. Like even some of the bosses, like two of the bosses that I fought so far already were repeat bosses from the first game, but the way you fought them was completely different. Like their attacks are completely different. They gave you a completely new set of abilities to fight them with. Like the way you approached it was completely unique. And I'm just like, damn, if every game could be like that, to have such a wealth of new ideas throughout. No, I really don't want to. I want to go back into that stage and feed the coin Luma. Now that I know I should go out of my way to try to grind coins. I'm good for now. No, I don't want star bits. I really need coins now. Please and thank you. Oh yeah, those TVs that follow you around too. I think this was the first game, if I remember correctly, that, not the first game altogether, but the first 3D Mario game that had those, like, the tips that Nintendo had patented at the time. So it was like that feature where some games will make it so if you die too many times or if you get stuck, the game will tell you what to do. Or like give you hints, or even like create a developer ghost that'll essentially either play the game for you or show you how to get past it, get past that spot that you're stuck on. I know, like even games like Uncharted and stuff started adopting similar mechanics. Oh, I never found this before. That's a lot. Again, not really worth the reward. Especially, like I said, when you turn off the game and all the extra lives disappear anyway. There you go. If I would have had these coins, I would have been unstoppable. Excuse me. Okay, so 14 coins. I need 56 more, and they're hopefully all in this bonus room. $62. I'm short 8. Hopefully there's 8 more somewhere out here. Otherwise, I don't know what they want me to do because I got everything that I saw. Okay, there we go. I have one more. Like you have to literally get every coin possible, and then that's one extra. I think was from jumping on that guy. Dum 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 dum. Transform. Secret star. Oh, cool! My favorite power. Oh, it's a boss. Oh, this is a boss from the first game again. But again, this cloud power wasn't in the game, so it's like a new way to fight an old boss. The funny thing too is I didn't even, well, the first time I played this game, I didn't even recognize that some of the bosses were reused because it had been so long since I had played. The gap between Mario Galaxy 1 and 2, I didn't really remember. I don't remember him dropping bombs either. I don't remember what he did, but I'm pretty sure it wasn't dropping bombs like that. Okay, I think that's it. Yeah, so, well, as far as the movie, yeah, like this movie is almost entirely in like the Mushroom Kingdom and the like and like the kind of like fantasy universe of Mario Brothers. It's not like there's scenes in New York, but it's really brief. Almost like I would say almost all of it is. I would say even it's a lot of it's not even in the Mushroom Kingdom. If it's like in, sorry, my words are I'm scrambling my words. But I guess what I mean to say is that most of it kind of takes place in the different planets and stuff that they visit. Oh, it's the hot stepping dash pepper. This is my. I was saying earlier that this power and the cloud power were my two favorites. I was looking forward to finding them. I for some reason remembered the pepper being further into the game, but apparently not. Mario World music, which is how you could tell Yoshi's coming up. Did you see the? Just in case you don't want to be spoiled, I won't say it. But did you see this? I guess technically it's not even a spoiler because they officially promoted it before the movie came out, but they gave away something kind of. They gave away a big surprise in the in one of the promotional posters, and I remember initially being really mad. I was like, why? Especially because they released it like I think 6 days before the movie came out, and I was like, why would you give away such a big surprise? Oops. I kind of wanted to go back and redo that and get this question mark coin up here. Oops. Whoa. And don't run backwards, Yoshi. You're gonna get us killed. Oh. Didn't super appreciate the trial and error there, but... Whoa, what happened when I get stuck on there? No, no, no. You know what? Forget it. I'm just gonna round up the middle. Thought I could grab it. Oh, he's just running into the wall over and over. Really? He can't run through the Goomba? He can't run through a Goomba of all things while he's like spitting fire? Sure, man. There we go. Pretty much had to do it perfect. Whoa. I wasn't expecting that. I didn't even really notice the ground rumbling until right before it fell. Okay, where do we go from here? I accidentally rubbed sunscreen in my eye. Ouch. I wanted to check this anyway. Come on. Wait. You gotta eat them twice? That's annoying. Because of the wings. Eat them, Yoshi. What are you doing? Oh well, I accidentally abandoned Yoshi, but it's okay. That's his fault for messing up. Anyway, he's back. Oh god, another coin, Luma. I only have 9. Whoa. Okay. I was like, am I about to die, or am I just taking a long plunge to safety? Christ. It's not that hard, but it's really scary because he moves fast. And in my head, I'm just like, don't. Come on, I feel like if the side of his body is like running along the edge of the wall, he shouldn't bounce off of it like that. Why did I do that? Oh, it paid off, but still, shouldn't have done that. Yeah, that's what I was reading today. I was surprised that people are saying that this game was really hard because I don't remember it being that hard. Like, this particular stage is just kind of tricky because you have to be kind of precise, but from a dying standpoint, it wasn't that bad. That Saw level was ridiculous, though, especially considering it was one of the first levels of the second world, so it's still relatively early in the game. You'd imagine it's just going to get harder from here. Yeah. Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. It depends on the Mario Kart too, though, because I remember the very first Mario Kart on Super Nintendo. I never beat that game. That thing was impossible, especially because I don't know if you remember how the Rainbow Road had no walls on it. So, and this was before they even added drifting into the game. So it was like you were just, I remember just constantly falling off the track. And I remember there was one time where I was really close to winning and then I got like pushed off the track by like a heavy racer like Bowser or something right at the finish line. And I went from like first to like eighth. And I was literally seconds away from finishing it. And after that happened, I don't think I ever turned the game on again. I just gave up. Hmm. It's fun to watch other people fall off the track when you're the one falling off the track that you just want to do anything else. Luigi's Mansion is fun too, yeah. I know some people don't like the sequels as much, but I thought part two was kind of whatever, but I thought part three was really, really good. But I get where people are coming from too, because part one felt like almost like a kid's version of Resident Evil. It had a real like survival horror vibe to it, whereas the rest of them are more like the two sequels are more like puzzle based and they're kind of more Mario than they are like survival horror, kind of like that how the first Luigi's Mansion is kind of calling to, with having one big mansion to explore and finding all these different rooms within that one small self-contained space. Whereas like I remember part two specifically. I kind of didn't like part two because it was multiple mansion. It was like multiple smaller mansions, and they just kind of felt like Mario levels. And I just it took me years to beat it just because I had dropped it for a long time because I wasn't really that into it. But three, I really loved three, especially with like the co-op mode. I remember we played it in two player the whole way through with the Luigi and Gooigi. That's a game that I hope they make another one of. I know there's obviously interest in the franchise because they brought, I think if I remember correctly, they remade Luigi's Mansion 1 for the 3DS, and then they remade Luigi's Mansion 2 for Switch. I never got that though. Yeah. I remember I remember back in school Joseph used to say, I don't know if I still to this day don't know if he was if he was kidding or if he was being serious, but I think he was being serious where he said Luigi's Mansion 1 was too scary for him. He was never able to finish it. I remember he used to say that all the time. Like I was like I could see how parts of it could be scary, but to not to the point of not finishing, I don't know. Yeah, it's hard to say with him. I vaguely remember going over his house once and he loaded up Luigi's Mansion in his save file like legitimately was only like part of the way through it and it had been out for some time by then. But either way, it was always funny when he would say that. Although I remember the end of that game was legitimately kind of scary because when if you remember the last boss of that game was like it was like King Boo with like Bowser's corpse and that's the weird thing about Bowser too. Like, he's died so many times, but then he'll just be in the next game he'll just be alive again and no one will really ever address it. But in the last boss was like King Boo with like possessing Bowser's corpse and you had to like blow the corpse's head off to knock Boo out of the corpse to be able to vacuum him. And I was like, what? I remember the first time I was playing it, I was like, what? Like, hold on. We're just casually decapitating a dead Bowser and to like pull the ghost out of his corpse. And everyone's just cool. Everyone's just okay with this. Did I get the comet coin here already? It was not worth risking my life for like 5 bits. Oh, it's fuzzies. Hmm. And like they've come out with a few scary games, but you know how it is with Nintendo, where it's like they'll come out with franchises that aren't. They'll like experiment with new franchises, but they don't get nearly as much attention as like your Mario's and Zeldas and all that. But it wasn't exactly like a horror game. It definitely had horror elements, but it was like a text adventure. But I think I might have streamed it a couple years ago. But Famicom Detective Club and the new one they came out with on Switch, the Emio. what was the subtitle? I can't remember. It was Famicom Detective Club MEO something. I'll have to look it up. But that game had some really like graphic imagery. It was kind of getting press when it first came out as the first ever M-rated Nintendo developed first party game, but it just had some really like scary imagery and some like graphic imagery, especially at the end of the game. Um, but yeah, and then another one that's not really a horror game per se, but then there was the it was in America as Trace Memory on the DS, and then they released a remake of both Part One and Part Two, and Part Two had never come out here until the remake bundle came out. But then when that remake came out, they titled it under the Japanese name of Another Code. But that one was kind of horror in a way because it was like you were like this teenage girl who was investigating a haunted house, and she becomes partners with the ghost of this dead child who lost his memory and is trying to recover his memory by exploring the house. So you're kind of walking around solving puzzles while trying to solve the mystery of this haunted house and help this ghost get his memories back. Um, but again, that one's not really horror. It was more like a puzzle, like an adventure slash puzzle game. Yeah, it kind of depends on the game. I know I probably talked about this with you a couple of times already, but like a lot of the new horror games, I'm not really the biggest fan of. Like, not that I don't like them, but like the Resident Evil remakes, for example, I don't like them as much as the old ones for a variety of reasons. They just focus, I think, too much on the action aspect of it and not the actual survival portion of the survival horror. To me, it's always the most fun when a horror game is like focused on you trying to outsmart the environment and outsmart the enemies and not just overpower them by being able to shoot them with everything. Whereas I feel like even the remakes of the Resident Evil games, like the Resident Evil 2 remake, so much of that just kind of revolved around, oh, just keep killing everything that appears in front of you and you'll be okay. Because I used to kind of like take pride in my ability to like learn the games back on the PS1 when they first came out, and I would like, granted, even if I wanted to do that nowadays, I probably wouldn't have the time or the patience, but I used to essentially memorize the map and like try to speed run the games and try to do it without killing anything, and I got pretty good at it. I think if I remember correctly, I was able to beat Resident Evil 1 or maybe 2. I was able to do a one run with one character in Resident Evil 2 within like an hour and a half. Yeah. Sometimes it helps though to have like when you play games like that, it helps to have like a second person to like kind of bounce off with and like discuss it with, because whether or not it's like the hints from the puzzles themselves or just like the themes of the actual story, it's like games like that sometimes it's really helpful to have like a second person to kind of go over it with. I think that's why part of the reason why games like that are so popular too is just because if you're not playing it with someone to go to like discuss it with, then they also encourage multiple playthroughs. So then when you play it again and you're kind of expecting some of the bigger events, then you can kind of see the foreshadowing and the themes and stuff early on and kind of enjoy it in a completely with a completely different mindset. 'Cause I don't know exactly what I'm supposed to be doing in this stage, but drop the show. This tower seems as good as a place to start. Oh, I knew it. I knew there was going to be a coin guy here. 15? Oh, that's not that bad. I can find 15, I think. And that'll be a bonus star. Oh, I'm about to get the ice power, and I know I said the ice power was my favorite power from the first game, but the power is so much cooler in this one because they have you doing some really cool stuff with it, and it almost pains me to focus on feeding the Luma the coins first. I just don't want to forget to do that, so I'm going to do that first, but that means I'm going to have to put off getting that power a little longer. BioShock's another game that I should replay, though. Someone gifted me the BioShock collection on Switch a few years ago, but I never redeemed it. I never like played it because it was one of those games where because the Switch memory is or the cartridge memory on the Switch 1 was so low that it didn't fit it didn't fit the entire collection. So if I remember correctly, it came with like a cartridge with BioShock 1 on it, and then it had like a download code for 2 and Infinite, and the files were so big that I didn't have space for it, and I just never bothered redeeming it. But I should do that because I haven't played any of the BioShock since they first came out. I remember I think I vividly remember renting BioShock 2 from Redbox back when Redbox had games, but I think BioShock 1 I rented either through Redbox or Gamefly, and then BioShock Infinite I think was a Gamefly rental. So I've never owned any of them until I was gifted it on Switch, but I played all three of them right when they came out, and then kind of took them in at like I picked up on some of the themes and stuff, but I kind of took them in at face value, and then like would read discussions and stuff that people were having online about them, and then but I didn't really engage with them beyond that initial playthrough. Oh, come on. Don't die, because if I die, I'll lose all my coins. Yeah, that's a thing too. That's a thing where, like, say a game like Mario Galaxy, they're not that. They can be long if you want them to be, like if you're gonna 100% them or whatever, but if all you want to do is play the play up until the ending of the game, they're not really that long. So I'll play something like this, but something like BioShock, it's like I don't have a ton of time to play anymore as like I used to as it is. So if I'm going to replay something, I don't want it to be something that's going to be 40 hours. I think the only long game that I've replayed recently was Persona, and even that was kind of different because I didn't replay just the same version of it. That was when I had played Persona 4 Royal or Persona 5 Royal. So it had new content, new story, and all that kind of stuff, new quality of life changes and mechanics. So it wasn't like a complete replay of the same game. These 15 coins took a lot longer to get than I was expecting, so I hope you're grateful. Um, my internet. I had turned off my camera in the beginning, and I even had off my mic in the beginning because I had tried to start streaming this, and then I noticed that the stream well, my internet was being weird even before I started the stream, and then when I started it, I noticed like it was pretty much it said it was like dropping 80% of the frames on my metrics and all that. So I was like, hold on, something's wrong. So I had to restart the stream, and when I turned it back on, I had my camera and audio off just so I wouldn't strain it too much because I think they've been throttling me lately. Oh wow, what a jerk. But once I finish this stage, I'll flip the camera on so I can show you what I got. But what's the switch? Oh, I turned the floor into ice. Huh? What time does it start? Oh, I thought it started at 8. Is there an ice power or something somewhere around here? No, no, no. Why'd you slide into the hole, dude? Actually, we have a show to go to at Megan thinks it might start at 8, but I thought it started or Megan thinks it might start at 7:30 and I thought it might end at I thought it started at 8, so I might actually have to leave right now if she's right. I'll double check. Huh? Okay. Never mind, it starts at 8, so I'm good for a little while longer. Oh, this guy's way faster than he was in the last game. Oh, that's why you turn it to ice. That's right. If you spin, he's like figure skates and it makes him a lot faster. That's how you do it. I'll have to double check. I thought I had it at 30, but sometimes when I switch, because like whenever I stream on Switch, I have it connected to the PC, but whenever I stream on console, I'm streaming like from Xbox or PlayStation, I'm streaming straight from the console. So I know sometimes it'll change settings between the platforms. So I'll have to double check that afterwards. I'm catching up a little bit, but there we go. Hold on, let me flip the camera on real quick. But yeah, here it is. I got the there's a glare that's making it hard to see. But this is the Rosalina storybook that she reads to the Lumas in Mario Galaxy 1 with a really sad story. The story from the book is a big reason why people really a lot of people consider Galaxy 1 better just from a story perspective. But I think it's generally agreed upon that Galaxy 1 has a surprisingly good story, whereas Galaxy 2 has almost no story. But Galaxy 2 has better gameplay. So kind of just depends what you prefer. Um, but yeah, I because it was fresh in my head, I forgot they released a physical version of the book recently, and I looked it up online and I found it for like half off somewhere. So when we went on our afternoon walk earlier, I went to the store and picked it up. But I'm gonna turn off the camera again just to save. Oh, whoops! I did that way too soon. I'm supposed to do that when I'm already in the water. I know this is how all the 3D Mario games are, but part of me doesn't part of me doesn't like how, say, if there's like a secret star like the one I just got and it's in the middle of the level, then you have to play the whole level over again to get back to where you were. And I kind of wish that there was like a checkpoint or something where, okay, cool, you got the secret star. Like maybe even when you get the secret star, it doesn't kick you out of the stage at all. Like you get the secret star, it sends you back to the point that you were at when you found the location, the teleport for the secret star, and then you could just pick up where you left off because it does feel like unnecessary busy work to have to basically retrace your steps and do everything over again that you did up until you found the secret. Oh, whoops, it's the wrong one. That was where I just, that was this. I forgot that when you feed the Lumas, the stars that they turn into stay on the map. So I accidentally just went right back to where I just came from, and like I was literally just saying, you can't go back. Hold on, I'm just gonna plug in my phone real quick. But anyway, I've been jabbering about this game this entire time. But how are you guys doing? How's the family? How's Sophie? Probably gonna stick with it for another 20 minutes at the most. I really like after this week, I'm gonna have almost no time to play, or at least maybe in little I'll have time to play in like increments, but I won't have time to literally like sit here and spend a bunch of the day playing for a while after this week. So I really wanted to finish both Mario games, and then get through a chunk of Expedition 33 during the weekend. So I'm hoping to get as much of this, play as much of this as I can, and then move on to. I'll probably need early tomorrow to finish Mario. Like we are gonna go hiking in the morning, and then I'll probably finish Mario and then dedicate the entire day to Expedition 33 tomorrow, and then just chip away at it from there with whatever time I can get. Oh yeah, no, I think she'll love it. Like, did she like the first one? Did you guys like the first one? Oh right, that'll be good. Easter's one of those holidays where I always forget when it is, because it's kind of like, it's not a solid date. It's just like either the last Sunday of March or the first Sunday of April. Yeah. Oh, that's so cool. But yeah, if she liked the first one, I think she'll really like this one. Like, I don't know. I'm not like, I don't think it's like a perfect movie, far from it, but some of the criticism I've seen about the movie confuses me, because people are saying it doesn't really have that much of it doesn't really have a story, and it's just a series of references. And I'm like, I don't think that's true. There's like a lot of story and character development. It's not like as much as, say, like the Sonic movies, but there's actually some pretty significant lore drops to like the Mario world in this movie. And there's pretty decent amounts of character development between the two movies. Like, I think Luigi's an improved character. Like, Mario's the one who's kind of just the same, but I mean, and even then, not completely, but I would say Mario's the most the same. But like, Peach, I think, is really good in this movie. Luigi has a lot of development compared to the first one. Bowser has a lot of development compared to the first one, and Bowser does like is involved in a lot of cool stuff. And then there's the spoiler that I mentioned that they put on the poster. That character is pretty prominent. Like, so it was really cool. Rosalina has a lot of oh yeah. He said, "I'll invite you to a race later." He literally sent me a letter to go back to his level, I guess. But yeah, Rosalina's really cool in the movie. Like, not to give away too much, but I was like, I was kind of disappointed. Like, my biggest complaint of the movie was the way that they handled Rosalina, and not because she doesn't like have cool scenes or do cool things, but like, we'll talk about it in more detail once you've seen it. But there's just some weird decisions that I was kind of confused by. But no, but like the introduction scene when they first show Rosalina is probably one of the most like visually great scenes in the movie. Yeah, I mean the movie's still largely about about Mario and Luigi. It oh wow, this is I have to get a little bit more serious. Okay. Um, yeah, it's still mostly about like Mario, but it's not. Well, I don't know. Yeah, I mean it's still centered quite a bit on Mario, but it's like the perspective is kind of split in this one. So it's like Mario and Luigi are off doing one thing, and like Peach and Toad are off doing their own thing, and then they eventually converge. But I wonder if Mario still dies if he loses a challenge. That was always funny in 3D Mario games to me, where it's like, oh, he lost a race, and then he just collapses and dies in shame. Actually, no. They do like tease Peaches at one point, and then they like cut him off. But there's actually no new songs. I didn't even think of that until you mentioned it. Oh, here's a spot where I can hopefully grab a lot of last second points. Oh, come on. It's gonna be really close. Ah, no. Grab these 3 coins. Okay, good. We did it. Jesus. Yeah, I mean, see, that's the weird thing about it, because it's like a lot of the reviews and like the criticism I see of the second movie is that they say that it's more of the same of the first one, and people would say that the first one didn't have a lot of plot. It was just frequent references and jokes and stuff. And people were calling this more of the same. Some people were even saying that the first one's better because the second one doubled down on it and is even more devoid of story than the first one. And I read that stuff and I get super confused because I'm like part of me is like, did you watch the movie? Because I feel like it's closer to what you just said, that the second movie actually has a lot more story and a lot less references to it, but in the process it does lose a bit of like the silliness and goofiness that the first one had. This one is definitely like more serious and treats itself as having higher stakes than the first one did. Even though a lot of the again, for some reason, a lot of the reviews I'm reading say I'd be interested to see what you think once you see it, but a lot of the reviews I'm reading are saying the opposite of what I felt, that it has less story, which I very very much disagree with. Yeah, like it depends. Plus, there's a weird like. Do I have a letter from Luigi? Oh, oh, that's cool. Different characters give you lives instead of just Peach giving you lives over and over again. Um, yeah, and like it depends. Like, there's also the aspect of I don't know there, and maybe I'm just on the internet too much, but yeah, same. I really like Toadette, but do I have enough to get to the castle? Because if so, I'm gonna make the castle the last thing I do, and then I'm gonna go. Okay, I do apparently, but yeah, like there's like a contingency of the internet that's just like very, very, very like anti Nintendo, and a lot of those people just I think look for reasons to be critical of certain things. Um, like so many people are saying, like I've seen so many people on the internet say that the movie's terrible, and anybody who says they like it's lying to themselves because they're a Nintendo fanboy, and I'm like, No." Like at worst, I think the movie's kind of inoffensive, and it does its job without being particularly innovative. And there's there's like dozens of kids movies like that that come out every year, and nobody tries to declare them as like the death of cinema or whatever. Like some people are acting like we just saw. I was thinking about it yesterday actually, but we saw Goat. I don't know if you guys saw that movie, the basketball movie with the actual like goat. Um, but I was like, that movie was way more like cliche and oh come on, Land on the Mushroom, brother. Yeah, and it's all and so much like rage baiting, and it's monetarily lucrative for people to argue in bad faith on the internet to get attention. It's just like it's a mess. I was actually just watching a video today where there people were talking about like dead internet theory and about how like the internet nowadays is just like this. I shouldn't say all the not the entire internet obviously, but they're mostly talking about social media and how people engage with each other on the internet is so wrapped up in chasing engagement and trying to have the most controversial, hottest statement they can make to draw attention to their account and monetize the attention and all that. And it's like it's a mess. And so I try my best not to pay too much attention to it, even though I somehow tend to find out about it all the time. Sometimes because of my own actions, and sometimes because it just ends up coming and like finding its way on my radar. Captain Toad. Oh, thanks. Oh no, Captain Toad. I shouldn't have mocked you for that coin. I might actually need it now. Uh, okay. I'm better off just jumping across the entire fire pit at this point. Oh yeah, yeah. I've seen I've seen Candace Owens for years. Yeah. Well, it's funny. I don't really. Well, I don't even know if you know this person, and I don't really want to name names because I don't really like getting into gossip. But so I won't say the name. But there was someone from school who was there was someone from school that I was friends with. I don't know for sure if you knew who this person was, but they were like we were friends. We still are, I think. I don't know. I honestly haven't been on Facebook in months, so I'm not sure who's still on there. But as far as I know, we're still friends on Facebook. And there was a period like a couple years ago where she was sharing like a ton of like, and this isn't even like the recent Candace Owens stuff. This is from years ago, and she was like constantly sharing Candace like saying some really weird like anti-black stuff, and this person was posting it on Facebook and being like, "Oh, I love her. She's always tells the truth and stuff like that." And I was like, "Really?" It's always so weird when you know like time passes and then you're familiar with some people and you're friends with some people, and then all of a sudden you don't hear from them for years, and then the next time you see them pop up, they're sharing some like out of pocket borderline racist stuff on Facebook and being like, "Oh, that's so true." I'm like, "Oh God." And that was years ago before her current gimmick, I guess, with all of her conspiracies and stuff about Turning Point and Charlie Kirk and all this other stuff. What? That's an instant kill? That was not an instant kill in Mario 64 when those guys debuted. What the hell? At least the cool thing about dying on a Bowser level is that you get to hear the cool music restart. Like the Bowser theme from Mario 64 is so good. Why did I do this? Oh, it worked out. Doom, doo, 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 doo. Yeah, so much of the internet's just about who can say the most controversial thing to get the most attention, and then lucky for them, not lucky for us, I guess, but then, you'll get enough of those people who who read or hear what they're saying and then actually like believe it, and then they end up amassing a following and kind of spreading those ideas further out to be more publicly acceptable, and then you get to where we're at now in a lot of different ways, and it sucks. But talking about it is kind of getting me excited to pick my work back up because that's due soon. That's due in 2 months, and I've got about a third of it done. There we go. Oh, I don't think I told you. I think we just talked briefly last time because I think I was about to go to lunch right when you popped on. But I was at a I was at a develop. It was a talk for one of the games that I was covering for my research, and the developers are there, and they came down from Johannesburg, South Africa, and we're talking about the game. And then one of the people that were there at the event, just as an attendee, was one of the people that I've used a lot of research from for my thesis project so far. So that was really cool, and I got to like meet a lot of these people and interact with them and exchange information. So that was really cool and interesting and kind of random. Oh, one of these platforms from like what game had these? Like Mario 3, I think, but not in 3D, obviously. But yeah, it was a cool experience. Careful. Oh, what about the statues? I thought he was just going to be telling me something unimportant like they usually do. Not not a legitimate warning. Oh my god. I missed that jump so terribly. I didn't think I was going to make that jump. He was jumping so slow. Hmm. Okay, here we go. I think this is the boss. So one thing I don't like about this game, I'm getting like flashbacks, but one thing that I didn't like about this game is I remember the Bowser boss fight. And honestly, this isn't unique to this game for some reason. I feel like every Mario game does this, where the Bowser boss fight is always just an offshoot of the same fight, and it just gets a little bit harder each time. But I remember the Bowser boss fights in this game are almost identical every time, just like slightly harder. And I remember a big part of beating him was doing what I just did, like ground pounding those rocks into him. So I mean, we'll find out right now because I'm about to fight the first Bowser fight. Huh? He's sitting on the throne like Leon in Resident Evil 4. Bahaha, you showed up. Look at you running around like a little flea on a puny planetoid. Know what isn't puny? My massive new power. The power to flatten you like a space pancake. I keep slipping into an anime voice. Like a fucking little Karibo abridged, Super Mario abridged voice. See, and then you ground pound it into him. If I remember correctly, the very last fight, he destroys the platform you're fighting on, and then you're just kind of free falling, and you have to like land on the comets in midair to stomp them. I think I led his fist too close to all of them, and he broke them all, so I didn't have a. Oh, oops, missed that one. I think it's funny that Bowser's easier than that dragon boss that I fought earlier. I mean, Bowser's not usually that hard, though. Maybe sometimes his final boss form is hard, but generally he's not that hard. I remember kind of having a hard time on Mario 64 the last time you fought him, where the platforms are far away from the bombs you need to throw him in. You had to like throw him at maximum speed with like perfect accuracy on like a relatively small target to be able to. Oh, there's no meteors or comets or whatever. Come on, punch around here somewhere. Did I accidentally lead his fire into the comets and make it so he destroyed them before he punched? I'm assuming that's what happened last time. Whoa, I didn't even jump on purpose. I think his punch knocked me into the air and I landed on that. He shrunk back down to normal. Don't worry, Mario's gonna let him just run away and grab more. So we'll have to do this at least 2 more times. Rarg. Now I remember why you're my arch nemesis. You're so annoyingly. Oops, I accidentally skipped the last word, whatever he said after annoyingly. Good thing I win anyway. Ha! While you've been playing, my master plan has moved on to the next phase. Tough luck, Mario. Bye. So long, Bowser. Yeah, I was gonna go when I finish this stage, and look, I'm finishing this stage. Do we have to go? Okay, good. I'm just kidding. Don't you know I hate wrestling? Wrestling sucks. Did I watch it? No. We totally skipped Collision. But yeah, there's a wrestling show like up the street from us. It's like one of the bigger independent companies. So they've been coming to this. They've been going to the Ukrainian Center near LACC for a couple years now, actually. Like whenever they're in LA, they do their shows there. So we usually it's like a 20-minute walk from us. So we usually go when we catch that they're coming. We've missed a couple because we either didn't notice or we found out too late and they sold out. Well, how about that? You fought a giant monster and he turned tail and ran off, right? Well, then let's go after him. With the power of the Grand Star, we can keep going through time and space, no problem. So it sounds like your special one is still with that monster, eh? Well, let's not just sit around getting older. Let's get going, Captain. I kind of love Lubba. I think he's a cool character. He's kind of funny, but he gets completely overshadowed because he essentially replaced Rosalina in Mario Galaxy 2. And everyone loves Rosalina to the point where no one remembers Lubba in response. But I love a Lubba. I love a Lubba. Dum 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 dum. Wow, an entirely new world looks like the path spits up ahead. Hey, don't look at me. The captain makes the choices. Am I right? Okay. And with that, save. Actually, I'm not gonna save and quit because it's gonna erase all my lives. So I'm just gonna put it in the home screen and put the game in sleep. But I'm gonna end the stream now. So thanks again for popping in. It's good talking to you. If I don't see you before you see the movie, please let me know how it was and how you guys liked it. But we'll talk about it. If I don't see you until after you see the movie, we'll talk about it then. If not, I'll see you soon. But thanks again for hanging out. Good talking to you as always. And I gotta run, so I'll see you soon.